Hello.
Hi, Crystal. How are you today?
I'm okay, Dino. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. Welcome, everyone, to Morning Motivational Rant. So,
Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump
We can
Day.
air this on a Wednesday. We'll air this on a Wednesday.
Who knows? Who knows what's happening right now? It's, you know what?
You could be humping.
Yeah, we've started.
Not us.
Just so you know, you guys you'll see this happening in real time. Is we've just started editing everything. We started recording, ironed out all the kinks with recording,
Yep.
kind of. So today we're trying a little bit different. I've changed the position of my camera because I realized that I would kept on like ducking out of camera and I would disappear. Luckily, I'm loud as fuck, and you could still see like half my body in the camera. You just couldn't see my face. It just disappeared. It's,
We want to see your face, Dino.
I know.
He thinks it's weird, people, if you look at the camera. He doesn't want to be facing you, people. He doesn't want
It's super creepy, okay? It's super creepy because you're just like, hi, I'm Dino. And you're like, no, nobody wants to see that kind of shit. It's horrible. It's like just a little off-center.
I want to know, though, when you talk to people, because I've talked to you, and now I'm trying to remember because it's been so long since Corona. Do you like face people, or are you one of those people that looks away and the person's
No.
always wondering where you're looking at?
The funny thing is, if I'm talking via video camera or something like that, I look at people's eyeballs, but
Yeah.
I don't, because I don't like looking at the camera itself.
Yeah, I try to watch you too, but then I try to look at the camera because I'm like, hello, people. Sorry. No.
You're kind of. Is my audio coming through your headphones? Because I'm hearing it double.
I'm hearing your audio is coming through. It's a little bit staticky, but it's coming through.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah.
That's okay.
I always look people in the eye. I can't not look people in the eye. I remember I was friends with a buddy of mine. He had a friend of his who would never look. She would look like here, or she would look here. She would look here. She would never look in your eyes. And you're like, how do I talk with this person? It's very...
Dino, wonder if that was like a problem.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
Well, I don't know if you should be saying it. I wonder if it was a problem, and that girl now she's gonna be like, Dino thought that I wasn't making.
Honestly, she wasn't very pretty and had a hairy back. I don't really care.
She was kind of ape-like, anyways.
She was nice.
Little
No, she
George
was a
of the
nice girl and
Jungle.
everything. She was a nice girl and anything, but I would never. I was like, yeah, no, not interested. Thanks.
No, not interested.
Well,
Well, I don't want a man that's less hairy than me, so I get it. Like, I don't like the men that sit there and, like, shave or they, like, wax their everything. I don't want a man that's less hairy than me, and sometimes I'm French. Like, so,
This is definitely not what we had planned to talk about. Just so you guys know, this is not what we were thinking. But hey, it's fun. Now, you know what? See, this is for me. I'm like, listen, you can pluck hairs from here, or if you have some scragglies, like, hey, no problem. But as soon as you start shaping your eyebrows, you're like, no.
Nope.
Can't do it.
No. Can't do it. If you take longer to get ready in the morning than I do, then it's not okay.
Oh, you know what? I honestly, I have a love and hate relationship with that aspect of women that take so long to get prepared and stuff. And like, because it's like, hey, you know what? I appreciate the work you're putting in. I do. But when you come out of the bathroom and look exactly the fucking same as when you went in, I go,
an hour later.
I don't know what you did in there. And the worst was, I remember my wife got her makeup done by a specific person because she was in the wedding party of this wedding. And afterward, I'm like, you look like a whore. What the fuck is this shit? And she's like, well, essentially they want a certain face look for the entire evening. So that's what the makeup does. It gives you the, contour and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, this is the problem is that people put so much weight in how they look and what they wear, what they own, where they live, they forget to actually become a human fucking being. Right?
Yeah, and you look most beautiful too. Like, you know, every guy always says, and every girl knows it, that if he really is into you, the best time he compliments you is when you end up wearing that thing. You have on, like, you know, you put on some plain white blouse and a pair of blue jeans, and you got no makeup on, and your hair's in a ponytail. That's when you end up getting the compliments. Yeah. Or maybe you have your hair down for a minute, you know? But that's it. I never got hit on more than when I was doing construction work, and I would go to the bar covered in drywall dust.
Yeah.
Just couldn't see me, steel-toe boots, dirty as hell. Uh-huh. I never had to pay for a beer all night.
No, and that's, that's the thing is it's that, it's a fake authenticity that people try and manufacture. They're like, oh, this is what's real. And you're like, no, it's not. It's just so ludicrous that you're saying, going, guys, it's gone too far. And that's why, like, oh my goodness, it's just ridiculous. Well, anyways, that was
we were about to talk about a topic.
Yeah, we were thinking of talking about something actually.
Once in a while, we have these topics that we sometimes ponder on during our podcast.
Yeah,
you guys will notice that.
The technical term is a tangent. You know, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It's fine. It's cool.
We throw out nonsense about a topic that we know somewhat about. Just so.
Or not at all. We know nothing about it, and we're just still going to talk about it. Because why not?
Or that we got bored of learning about it, we learned about it smart as a cartoon.
You know what?
We had to watch a cartoon because we got bored. So what's today's topic, Dino?
Atlantis.
Atlantis is today's topic.
And
so I tried to watch some videos on Atlantis last night, Dino.
Yeah.
I end up watching the cartoon.
That sounds about right. You know what? I say we ditch Atlantis and let's just talk about other shit. Because the funny thing was...
Let's talk about Atlantis for a minute. Can we talk about Atlantis for a minute?
Oh, yeah, sure. I don't care. I'm game for anything.
I think that Dino picked it because I reminded him that his bigness is like royalty.
That's true.
And he's Greek.
That is true.
And he's Greek.
I am Greek.
So he's like a Zeus god, right? So
I may be Atlantean. That's a very good chance. I may be Atlantean. I may be a god from the future. Who knows?
Yep. And I like to consider myself as like an Aphrodite. So I like where we were going with that kind of stuff. But other than that, Atlantis got real boring when he heard about it. And there seemed like a lot of racism comments made in there.
See, this is, okay,
like,
this is the funny thing is that there's so much, I believe the term would be a cacophony of noise that's happening right now that's trying to attack everything. Like, everything possible is under attack. Like, if you said anything in the last 30 years, it's coming.
Yep.
And it's just like...
Oh, shit.
Well, it's just like... myself included. You know what? I realized that there was a time where I am lucky that a few very close friends were very patient with my attitude. I'm very lucky for that. Yeah. And I learned very quickly how foolish and immature I was. And that was my first set of comedy. No, it was it wasn't. But you know what? That's the thing is,
it was worse.
Much worse. I remember now. Like I think about it now, and I realize that there was a certain point in my life. I believe it happened during my divorce. Was that I learned that there's so many good reasons to hate people that aren't their ethnicity or color or country or anything like that. Because people just give you so much to hate. Like, they have a bad attitude, you know, and you're like, why would I waste a good sin like hate on someone's color? That seems foolish.
And it just doesn't make sense because it's about where they're from on the planet, like where they were born.
Yeah.
Because my aunt right now, she's French, Irish, German, and she is browner than brown, like browner than my cocoa butter.
But everyone hates her though. If she's Irish and German, you're like, yeah, no, nobody, and French, no, nobody likes her. That's a period.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. Everybody hates me right now. I'm Irish French.
Well, that's
I'm Irish French Canadian.
Yeah, like that's not good. It's not good. It's not helpful. See, that's when you're like, hey, if we were throwing around privilege, I wanted a little bit. Like, I had a great privileged life. I'm not even gonna say that. But the fact is,
I didn't.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, whoa. Where was the line up for white privilege? Because I'm white. I should have been allowed in that line.
I got fuck off.
I get it.
Like, I got like, no, I grew up in Windsor housing. Like, our roof caved in. Like, we moved around a lot. I was always the new kid. I was never liked.
Yeah.
I just got kicked off of a native reserve, like, for being white.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? And that's
so, like you know.
And that's and please, you know what? Anyone who's watching
they had town meeting. But, like, I love everybody, and you know what, I respect their rules, and I respect their rights, and I respect it, so I left peacefully, and that's it.
And please don't, no one take this as us trying to make light of the current situation. It is very serious, and it is warranted. There's a complete justification for it. I think that the
as comedians, though, we're here to do that. Yeah, we're here to make everybody comfortable.
Well, we try and make it sickly funny just so we can try and move on, right? The funny thing is, like, this is why it's like, if you thought, like, I think back to, like, my teenage years where if I got pulled over, I thought I always had the idea that it was going to end in a physical combat of some sort, that I would get shot and everything. And that's a perspective thing.
Yeah.
And, you know.
And it's where you are in your situation.
Well, and that's the thing is, later on, as life progressed, I realized that was ludicrous. I didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Now, I think about it is that was, as an adult, where I said, wait, I haven't done anything wrong. I shouldn't be worried. Now, if you were an adult where every time you had an interaction with a police officer, there was a concern that you may get killed, how the fuck do you, like, how can you sleep at night? Like, that's horrible. And that's where I just kind of stand going, like, guys, this is really, like, we joke about it just because we're trying not to kill ourselves. That's really what it is. Yeah. It's not anything else.
That's it.
There's no self-serving idea in this. We just are trying to keep our head above water and not act like that, because it's horrible. And that's the real.
I come from my family right from the start, because, like, I'm daddy issues, never met my father, but he was affiliated in some interactions, and right away, like, like, my name comes up, and stuff I just get affiliated, and I grew up in the low income family, lifestyle and stuff, and I've always had hard interactions with police, and that's being of my color. So being of another color, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, but being white in Windsor is almost like being black anywhere else. But
it's being human in Windsor is like being black anywhere else. Windsor is a horrible place, okay? Let's be very clear. Windsor,
you can't be human. Yeah, it's not a good place.
It's not a good
place, everybody.
See, this is the whole problem, is that.
But that's everywhere that is in the world. There's bad and good.
I remember, you know what, this is actually a really cool story. And I apologize, I'm taking a lot of the time here, but.
No, I love it.
It's funny, so it's good. Now, my ex-wife's grandparents, who were old as shit, but they would take in foster kids, and they lived up north. And for their 50th wedding anniversary, instead of throwing a party or anything like that, they wanted to take the whole family to go on vacation. And I'm like, free vacation? Hell yeah, I'm in, no problem. and sure enough, and then, like, so we went to a resort, we went to the Dominican, and we found out they had golf carts, and at the time, the grandmother was like, I don't really want to wait for the train that would take you to the different resorts. So she's like, can we just rent one of those? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. Yeah. I took that thing off road. I did all sorts, and it was awesome. But one of the big things, and this I really applaud her for, she brought one of the oldest. She had 3 foster children that were all together, and she took all 3 of them in together, which I was like, that's awesome, right?
That's
and
amazing.
they were really young. So she took the oldest, who I want to say she was like between 7 and 11 years old. Like, she was still a child, but she was slowly starting to learn and stuff like that. So she was around there, like around grade 4 to grade 6, somewhere around there, you know? So the one thing the grandma wanted to do was to go to a local town and have a tour. And they were like, that's going to be pretty expensive. And she's like, I don't care. Like, she's been married for 50 years. She lives up north. She's got, she's retired. She's got good money. Her husband's still alive. It's a good thing, right? And she's like, let's do. That's honestly the big thing for me. And when we went with the little girl, so we actually had security too, but it was fine. It was no big deal. There were certain roads that are like, no, we're not going that way. We're going this way. I was like, okay, whatever. Looking back, I realized it was actually pretty fucking risky. But anyways. So we walked by a butcher shop, and outside the butcher shop was an ox head that was probably about like twice as wide as I am with the horns. Like, and it was just the head, like a tongue of it was horrible. And she was like,
"That's scary."
Well, that's the thing. It was a huge shock. Now, I've traveled to Europe. I've traveled to Asia. I've traveled to all sorts of places. I've seen this kind of stuff. It doesn't bother me. I know how the rest of the world lives.
Oh.
But she was like, in shock. She's like, "Why are they doing it like that?" And I just said to her, I go, "This is the way that the rest of the world lives. We have it that good." Yep. And she kind of was like, "Oh. Okay." And she kind of was like, "Oh, so this is the norm. We're the norm."
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. This is why. This is what's actually happening. And she was like, "Oh." And I honestly, it was like a perfect storm for the girl. Is that nice? Right on camera. I love it. No.
I like, keep going.
So, but yeah, so
it's one of those days.
Oh yeah, I've been there. So I think it was a perfect storm for her, just because she was in foster care. It had gone bad a couple times, so this is the first time like she was with her the grandparents for like a few years. It was her and her siblings. She was going to school regularly. She wasn't getting the shit kicked out of her by her foster family. Like, all those things were factoring in. So she was kind of starting to actually, and I peg it together where it's like, if you don't have a safe zone, your body never stops to try and expand and learn, right? And that's why it's like people who suffer from abuse at school, then suffer from abuse at home, they have no safe area where their brain says, hey, let's think for a little bit. Let's try and browse. And for her, this girl, I honestly believe that trip, I'd love to take credit that what I said was beneficial to her. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. But I know that trip was a huge deal for her to really help her understand. And that's, I think, the biggest problem is half the fucking world hasn't seen the other half of the fucking world.
That's it.
And
exactly.
They have no fucking idea what's happening. Like, I've watched a few things that are going on right now, and it's just like, you guys are fucking mental, right? And when you see videos of guys in the what the hell do they call it now? It's the Capitol Hill. It was the autonomous zone, and now it's CHOP. Yep. It's, anyways, who gives a shit? Fuck those people.
Because they're taking over.
Oh, they can't take over their own pants. Okay, that's what they can't do.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know but everybody thinks they're gonna take over and rule the world. It's like Pinky in the Brain, but with a bunch of pinkies.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. Absolutely. And that's the thing is, like, I look at it and I say to myself, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. And then you see videos of a guy getting pulled. I guess he was walking or something. Car stops. They beat the shit out of him over his phone. Okay, now this is the thing. God. Is right afterward. I saw a video. I follow a guy who has been on Rogan a few times, who's, I guess he used to be a police officer in Mexico, and he still helps.
Oh!
It's, I think it's Ed Manifesto is his Instagram. And he helps advise people on being safe when they cross the border and stuff like that. Something like that. I don't know. Anyways.
I know who you're talking about. I can't picture him.
So,
Hopefully the folks at home do.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He posts really cool stuff. But the funny part is, so I watched this thing in Chaz where these guys beat the shit out of the guy for the phone. They left after beating the shit out of him, even when the guy was like, oh, give me back my phone. That's my phone. Give me back my phone. He's bloody. He's all like this. And he's going to go, my phone.
My God.
That's my new iPhone. I want my iPhone back. Okay? Now, I'm just scrolling through Instagram seeing this shit. Okay? I hit Ed Manifesto, and you see a guy stop a little motorcycle at the side of a restaurant, leaves his helmet on, walks over to a guy, grabs his phone. When the guy doesn't grab his phone, he pulls out a gun, shoots the guy 3 times, takes the phone, and leaves. And you're going, so, watch this. This is the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, and you got beat up for your phone. It's pandemonium. Yep. People are going crazy. The guy got shot 3 times and killed for his phone. No conversation, no nothing. Yep. Be happy that they left you with your dignity, you piece of shit. And that's why nobody else is realizing all this madness that's happening. Guess what, guys? It's been happening everywhere. Yep. This whole time. We're all fucked.
Yeah, we just been staying inside so long, and everybody needs something to bitch about, and everybody just wants something to complain about. This shit has been happening over and over again. Like, the cops, they're 3 months behind every investigation, and now you want to cut them off because they can't technically report anything until they have at least 3 months into it. Well, guess what? I've been on the other side of the fence, and in 3 months, they've done a whole lot of shit. Criminals. Yeah. They can get a whole lot done in 3 months. Yeah. In 3 months, they've had 8 different cell phones. They've had 20 different addresses. Yeah. It's gone. This is in 3 months, and there goes your case. Like, let's get on the Epstein thing. Like, fuck.
You're 20 years late. Like, that's everyone who's like, oh, Epstein should be punished. Yeah, 20 years ago. This is
exactly. And all those people, guess what? All those people, when were all those pictures taken? A lot of them. A long time ago. Yeah. This shit has been happening for a long freaking time. Look, that one girl, she was like 15. She's like 30-something now. For the past 15 fucking years, that shit has been happening. Like, you know? And it's always the people, oh, it wasn't this person. It's always that fucking person. Oh, it could never be that woman. Oh, it's always that fucking woman. Let me tell you.
So, okay. It's on that note. On that note, have you ever watched the show Lucifer?
Yes, okay. I love Lucifer.
He's so hot. Okay. Have you? Yeah. Are you up to date with it or no?
No. Okay. No, I only watched it at the beginning because I don't watch TV anymore.
And you know what? And you're a horrible person because you don't watch TV, just so you know.
I'm going to start just for you a little bit. I just got to hook up my TV and I have a TV.
I need to get an antenna and I need a channel change. You know the one with the buttons with the big buttons on it? Yeah. 14 is 1 4. It's not
YouTube. I watch YouTube.
So, the funny thing is that in Lucifer, and this is a spoiler for a lot of people, maybe you don't realize this, but in Lucifer, because the show Lucifer is about Lucifer. And by the way, there's some crime happening that connects all the characters, but nobody really cares about that shit. The funny thing is, almost 99%, so I am up to date on Lucifer. 99% of them, the first person that they talk to is the one that killed him. And they're like, no, I don't know what happened. It must have been that person. And you're like, that person did it. Yeah. For sure. Now,
that person did it.
That's the funny thing is you're like, listen, we have, I've been reading actually a few posts today where they're like, so I have to study for 8 years to be able to defend the law, like as a lawyer. But for you to enforce the law, you need 8 weeks of training. And I'm like, it's 8 weeks of training to be a cop? I'm like, are you kidding me?
It's 3 months completely, but yeah.
Who gives a shit, Crystal? You kidding me? That's fucking insane.
I know. They were just talking about that on Rogan. Rogan and Jacko were talking about that. And it's so true. And it's true because they don't need, you could be anything. You could be an ECE. You could be a fucking, you can't even be a hairdresser with that much experience. Like, these bitches have,
and that's the thing is, they don't have, in actuality, like the way it's actually coming across, and I may not be accurate on this. I'm not trying to say that I'm an expert in it, but it seems like the police officers are being trained for the bare minimum of their jobs, like being a meter maid, writing tickets for like stupid shit. And then they're and like as soon as that's done, they're like, okay, so I know like the basics of like what I'm writing tickets for and shit like that. Okay. Yeah. But essentially, like immediately they say, oh, by the way, you also have to deal with all of this other stuff. And you're like, what?
Yep.
And
and it hardens them.
Oh yeah.
It all hardens them. It's like you go to an emergency room and you watch a nurse that's been in the emergency room for years. Yeah. She is the toughest, meanest person that you will ever meet because she's hard.
Now,
but because she's seen so much bullshit, she's seen so much corruption that now that's all that she sees.
Agree.
And that's like these cops.
Totally.
These cops see so much bullshit. They see so much corruption. Nobody's on their side because everybody assumes the police are there to fuck shit up.
True.
But, you know, and 90% of the time they're already entering a situation where nobody really wants them to be there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or the person that does is usually kind of like, like, you know,
and honestly, this is where we differ because that nurse in the ER who's been there for 20 years, that hard woman who won't take no shit, she's a fucking monster in that she knows what she's doing. She's a qualified, experienced person. Well, now, the reason I say that is this.
That being said, they lose that though because they lose their concern with anybody.
Absolutely.
So the people that are really sick, sometimes they won't even pay attention.
So, and this is where it's. And remember, people, we're not experts or anything. We're not trying to defend anyone.
Neither one of us.
We're just trying to talk through the position now. Yeah. So I myself, I have. I like to say it's a condition. It's not. I'm just fucked up. Is that people will find a vein. Like if they have to take blood from me, they'll be like, okay, we found a vein. As soon as they put in a needle, it's gone. It just disappears. They're like, it's not there. And I'm like, well, you said you found it. They're like, yeah, but it's gone now. And I'm like, so I'm some sort of like, I'm like Wolverine of some sort. I don't know. But the point is that those old ladies who are like, after other people have tried, she's like, just get out of my way. She walks up, she goes, bink, poop, and it's done. Yeah. Now, yes, there are times when those women
in that situation are
that's
awesome.
my experience. Okay? But those people who are jaded and now are too hard to actually do their job well, they're no longer an expert. They're just someone who should move the fuck on. Right?
And that happens in every field.
Every field, absolutely.
That happens in every field. You know, like you'll get comics even that will been doing this for so long, they just automatically assume that they're funny, and then you go watch them, or they come to the same back corner that you're sitting in, and meanwhile they've been on corner gas and all this other stuff, and then they come to the same back corner that you're in, and they blow balls. But yet they've been doing it for 20 years, so they got to tell you how it's done. Yeah. You know?
Look, and that's sorry, I was off camera. I just found something, and I was like, I want to remember that for later.
No, that's okay.
But that's the whole thing, is that a police officer who, like, this is what I'm seeing a lot of, is...
Which is more of a big job.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel like police officers are kind of like emergency room staff as well, you know, in some degree. Like, it's
those
weird...
two, but those are in the same general. I'm talking like then a comedian. Oh, they're very they're very more important than we are.
Absolutely. Oh, there's no question about that. That's why everyone who's saying defund the police, no, you're an idiot. What you're asked,
you're an idiot.
Yeah, because that's just because it's just a bad idea. What you're talking about is reallocating resources. That's a good idea. It's actually a great idea. Okay. Because the fact is, allocating resources towards things like... Sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera. Allocating resources to things like mental health issues and people who can talk people down, that's a good thing. It's a great thing.
Put more training into your police system.
Absolutely.
You know?
But what we're talking about now is demilitarizing the police. Yeah. We're trying to bring that down. Because remember, it was the whole idea of Bobby's... in the UK, the cops didn't have guns. They just had the clubs, right? Yeah. And that's the thing is it's a chicken or the egg situation. And this is what's fucked up. Like, despite how we look, Crystal has had more experience dealing with police officers than I have. Okay? So,
I'm a former prostitute, everybody. Drug addict. Just so everybody knows.
It doesn't matter how hard I try not to bring that up, it gets brought up every single fucking time. Anyway, it's a good thing.
Sorry,
it's a good, no, it's not. No, don't be sorry about it. Fuck it. Trust me,
But it makes me awesome.
Oh, no, listen, as we get further into this, trust me, there's going to be some things that are going to be brought to light, I'm sure, that you're going to stand going, huh? And I'll go, yeah, I'm not that nice of a person, right?
I'm a super nice person, though.
I'm not.
So
I'm not. I hate everyone, okay?
And I love everyone. See, that's what makes us go.
Yeah. See? She cooks with love. I cook with hate. It's different. Mine's more fancy. See?
This is more spicy.
See, that's why foie gras, you have to hate ducks to eat foie gras. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I have no problem with it, and I love it. It's delicious. But anyways.
Anyway. I love schnitzel, so that makes me hate it all across the board. That makes me hate it everywhere. Because not only do I kill baby lambs, but it's schnitzel and it's totally German. And you know...
They didn't even die good. They died bad. So it's like, I don't just want them dead. I want them to die a horrible death. It's just...
And that's why it's schnitzel.
No, see, this is the problem is no one's taking the time to really talk about certain things. And it's really... Yeah. I'm finding it really frustrating just for the idea that, like, things have made a lot of progress in certain areas, and the areas that they didn't, we kind of, I think people, and I say people, not white people, not black people, so people in general, kind of, we felt permitted to ignore what didn't change, what didn't roll with the change, and kind of was like, oh, well, you know, you can't do anything about those, but we're good over here. And that's a real fucking problem. Like, you can't...
That's a really big problem.
It is. And that's like yesterday. So on yesterday's podcast, I ended with the fact that saying that, you know, we're not all in this together. We're really not. You know, if we want change, if we want to move forward, we do need to be all in this together. And like, have you seen the picture of a bunch of rich people's yachts spelling out, we're all in this together in the water?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, but I saw the celebrities saying it. And it was a bunch of white celebrities. And they were like
and not
Hollywood
even
people. They
not
made
even
this
good
video.
ones. They weren't even good celebrities.
No.
Okay.
It sucked because there was like 2 or 3 of them. Like, I love Julianne Moore and she was in it. And I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah. Listen, Kristen Bell, fucking hilarious. What the fuck are you doing on this thing, lady? You're a rich white chick.
I know.
Shut up.
Shut up.
It's and that's the worst part is like being a white man, okay? I identify as Greek. Just that's where I feel comfortable, that's where I feel at home, but I am a white man. And I come from an upper middle class family. I'm a property owner. I have a lot of privilege in my life. There's no question about that. And up until this all happened, up until this all came to light, you know, I was very reserved with my opinion just for the simple fact that we were in a time, in a situation where nobody wanted to hear the opinion of a white man. That's it. And I'm like, you know what? Okay. And for a long time, I've worked on under the guidelines of, if anyone wants my opinion, they'll ask for it. If they don't want my opinion, then I'll just keep it to myself. And you know, a few close friends were like, you know, you don't know everything, and I'm like, yeah, I do. And they're like, fuck, because I try and be very knowledgeable. I try and be very understanding about things. But that's the thing is, people aren't interested in your opinion a lot of times. And I say you as in the grand you of everyone in general.
Yeah.
Everyone in general, because in general is a word.
Is it?
No, of course not. But
I'm like, is it? It's like our fiction and nonfiction, though, discussion there, okay?
Exactly.
Sometimes I'm like, is he making up this?
I don't know. Well, that's the whole thing. Is like, guys, we're missing the forest for the trees. Is this a time for change? Yes. Is it a needed change? Yes. Is it long overdue? Yes.
Clearly.
Stop focusing on the stupid shit. Let's focus on, look, if we can change one thing, just one thing during this time, that's a win.
A light bulb. I want to change a light bulb.
Right? And that's, look.
Light bulb, change your idea. That's what I meant by that. It was change your idea.
But think about it.
Like, change, because whatever your idea is, you could be wrong. Be open to maybe being wrong.
Well, the idea of knowing you're right, just throw that out the window. Just throw it right out the window.
Yeah.
How many?
Just throw it out the window.
Well, how many of these statues are being destroyed? It's like, oh, by the way, yeah, that guy's known for like murdering thousands of people. And you're like, and we have a statue for him. So, well, just now they just came out that the city of Vaughan is named after, I believe it's Benjamin Vaughan, who was a slave trader. And you're like,
that sucks. That's on my business plan for a big wedding shop that I wanted to open.
Listen, big weddings are going to happen in Vaughan or whatever it ends up being called, so that's fine. But the fact is,
the wedding shop wasn't called Vaughan, but Vaughan was where it was located.
Yeah,
because you want to know why I wanted to locate it there too, which is kind of funny, is because it's hugely multicultural. And a lot of multicultural families spend lots of money on weddings. Yeah. So I was like, hell, like, have you been to an Italian wedding?
Yeah.
And Woodbridge and everybody is right by there. So I figured that'd be a great place to set up a wedding shop.
And now it's going to be known as Slave Center Village.
And now it's going to be known as Slave Center Village.
Like, and here's the crazy part is, like, how did no one know that? How did no one know?
That's so true.
Oh, yeah. Like, I feel like, you know, when you see those, like, classified files on TV and they're like, oh, this has all been redacted, and you see it's all colored out in black ink and everything, you're kind of going, so, did somebody like, hey, let's call it Vaughn, because there's this guy, Benjamin Vaughn, who was a pretty solid dude. Was he, like, always solid? It's like flips a page. There's some redacted stuff, but I think we're okay. You know, we'll just let it slide. And you're like, yeah, that's not okay, guys. This is where everything is
If it was blacked out, there's a problem. Like, if there's something blacked out, like, unless it's somebody's personal address identification to where they're at right now, then it needs to be put out there if it's going to affect your...
Yeah, and you know what? It's...
You don't have to black out good stuff. You know?
No, you know what? You don't. You really don't. You don't have to. You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to erase history if it was okay. That's ta-da.
Yeah. If they were like, well, Mr. Vaughn, he helped out all these fine people come across. He gave them some honey and some
you'd be like, okay,
lemons and some made him some sweet tea. But you know.
But then you're like, oh, he also murdered a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like,
so that's not okay. So they had to black that stuff out. But if he did the sweet tea thing, he wouldn't have got blacked out.
Listen,
that's where I was going.
That's no, and that's the whole thing. Is like, you have who is it? Who makes oatmeal? Quaker.
Oh, yep, Quaker oatmeal.
They just said that Aunt Jemima is being stopped. It's going to be rebranded. I'll be honest with you. That's some really fucked up shit, eh?
That's some like, pretty fucked up shit.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I love me some Aunt Jemima, but the fact
me too. That's why I'm like, look, I'm trying not to laugh because I'm like,
listen,
fucking love that shit.
The fact that it's under attack now, you're going, really, guys, really? Is this?
You have told us before.
Well, do you remember a few weeks ago when everyone was posting? It's like, this is the hill I want to die on. You're like, really, Aunt Jemima? That's the fight we're fighting here. And please, I apologize. I'm not trying to downplay the fact that it's horrifically racist. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, that's the win? I don't think so, guys. You know what? I think
we didn't even know. How is everybody eating all this syrup for so long and nobody thought of it?
Well,
it's like the raisinettes and stuff.
Everyone knew.
Everyone knew, I guess. Everyone was just okay with it.
We all knew.
I didn't know.
No, listen, I'm not saying we actively knew, but we were all like,
okay.
Ooh, that looks a lot like a southern situation. I don't really want to get involved. I just want to have pancakes. That's all I want. I just want to have pancakes. I don't want
yeah.
And that's
I never looked at her like that.
No.
That seems kind of hard.
No, because nobody wants to. Look, nobody wants to feel that way.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to stand there going, you know what? I'm a racist piece of shit, but goddamn, I like pancakes. Nobody's going to say that. Right?
Well, it's just everybody's different outlook, and that's why I say that racism is a lot more announced right now.
Yeah.
It's because people are pointing this shit out.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Me and my friend Jamie, we were driving down the Highway 400, and we saw a truck full of cows. And I'm like, oh, look at all the cows. And she's like, yeah, they're off to the slaughterhouse. So, her first initial reaction was, they're going to the slaughterhouse. My first initial reaction was, oh, look at the cows. Yeah. And that's how I am. When I went to the native reserve, and I didn't realize how much damage white people had done and stuff. I didn't know, so I was kind of not loved.
No.
There wasn't a whole lot of love. And I mean,
well, this is
gentleman and me, we got along, but there wasn't a whole lot of loving, and I didn't realize but how much damage white people had done. And then I'm like,
that was not it's you, when you look back at it, you're absolutely right. You wouldn't know unless you asked. And the thing is, how do you ask me,
exactly.
hey, so have your people actually been oppressed, or is this bullshit? What do you... No, you can't.
But I grew up with Native people, because we moved around a lot, and it seems weird, but I used to always go to powwows and stuff wherever we go. I loved that stuff, and I love the artwork, because I'm very creative, and I love the artwork.
Absolutely.
And I love all that, and I never saw them as any different as me.
No.
Other than just doing different things that I don't get to do. So I never saw skin color and stuff. So for me, racism stuff just seems so stupid. Yeah. It just seems so, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So I don't understand it on any side, because there's monsters everywhere you go. There's, every profession, you're always going to have that asshole everywhere you go. You're always going to have, it doesn't matter what color they are. You need a pint of blood? Hold it up. Tell me, what is it?
Yeah.
Tell me where it's from. Tell me what religion it is. Tell me what it does for a living. Tell me what its past was, and then I'll take it. Oh, too late. You're dead.
Yeah. That's, absolutely. See, this is why it's a few prominent African American celebrities, musicians had made posts about how they were being asked about what's going on and everything. And they were like, I don't want to talk about it. They're like, listen, I've had a privileged life. It's been great for me, I don't... Yeah. And you're going, you know what? That's a good thing. That is progress, right?
And
you know what?
Yeah.
With this...
You were president.
Yeah.
You had a president. Isn't that a great thing for, black people to look up and be like, hey, if I work hard enough, there is an opportunity.
Well, there's
opportunity there more for... Right now, the way the world is, there's more opportunity for it to be a minority.
Well,
and are they such a minority?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Why?
There's a lot of programs and stuff.
My cat's
involved.
being an asshole behind me, just knocking down boxes.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, he's a dick. He's your dick.
You have a cat? You're a cat guy?
Well, so I grew up with a cat.
I want to make fun of you so much every day. I love it.
I grew up with a cat. His name was Tiger, and he was the greatest cat ever. But he was also an outdoors cat, so he would fight with raccoons and shit like that. And he was a badass. I have a couple of wild stories for that. I do.
Oh, yeah.
So
I bet they're wild.
They really are. They involve us, him
stories.
being lost in the wilderness and coming back to our house after 11 months. Then we go on vacation. We move when we come back. He's gone. When we come back, he's already gone. We move. He finds us at the new house. Okay?
That's a pretty damn good cat.
Trust me, this cat. So now Victoria wanted an Alaskan blue because it's hyperallergenic and blah, 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 blah. So we got our cat's name is Apollo, and he's pretty awesome, but he's also a real dick. So
Yeah, he's a cat.
Yeah, well...
So they eat you when you die.
Oh, for sure. Why don't people know that? You're like, a cat will not... Listen, a dog will, like... He'll nibble on you, but he'll
lie
be...
beside
like, he's
you
not going...
and die with you.
Yeah, he's not... Look, a dog's not going to eat your face first. A cat will. A cat was like, where is it the softest? Oh, yeah. And your eyes are gone.
Yeah.
So, no, it's...
Yeah.
But anyways.
So, just say cats are evil, like, you know.
Yeah, I really want...
You're Greek. Are you guys supposed to, like... or maybe you're, like, Greek people, like, because Cleopatra, the cats and stuff?
Cleopatra
like,
wasn't Greek. She was crazy. No.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. She wasn't Greek, was she? I just think of, like, Greek mythology.
Middle Eastern something or other. Hey, listen, don't call that mythology, okay? Listen, Cleopatra, when Cleopatra lived, she's closer to our life now than she was to when the pyramids were built. Do you know that? There's a shorter distance of time.
No.
Yeah, I know. I'm full of useless knowledge. You have no idea.
I know I have a book on Cleopatra right here. Like, I have read them.
Just so everyone knows, it's a porn book. It's not about Cleopatra. It's like that kind of... It's not. I'm just joking.
Oh, now I wish I could reach it.
Anyways.
But anyways.
This is... You know what? I'm having a lot of fun with this podcast. We're talking about random things, and it's going really well.
Yes. It's important random stuff.
Well, you know what? I think... I'm sick and tired of people. So I've explained this to my wife a couple times, and we've been together for like 13 years in total, married for about 5, and she's finally getting the hang of what this means. And I tell her that if you come to me with a problem and no solution, you are now the problem. Okay? Whereas if you come to me with a problem and a possible, not perfect, possible solution, then you and I can combat the problem together.
Yeah.
And she says, well, why don't you do this?
I agree with that. I get that.
So, and I'm like, that's the difference right now, is we're having a lot of people going, that's offensive.
Yeah.
And? Well, I just don't like it. Plug your ears. Because now you're saying this.
And why do you feel? Tell me why you actually feel personally offended by it. Then explain it to me.
Listen,
You know, I'm all ears to listen to everybody's opinion. No, sorry.
No, it's true.
Except for yours, because I keep cutting you off.
No. I'm trying really hard to laugh without showing my teeth, and you're really making it hard, you asshole.
I want to see them.
They're all.
You watch the previous.
Hey, what's up?
It's being yourself, though, but you're being comfortable being yourself. And even if your teeth are a little bit fucked up, which everybody's are, unless you've had those. Do you want the braces that way you can look like everybody else and be like, hi.
Well, that's the thing is, they're all straight and they're right. They're just different like lengths. So they're like, I had 2. They're just too big. They're just.
You could do like the Madonna. Say it's your Madonna.
Hello, everybody.
Material girl.
Hello, I'm a thinger. That's not gonna. That's a.
He's a material girl.
I am a material girl in a material world. Damn it.
And both.
See, I don't know. Like, even so, just so you guys, here's a little inside baseball. Is that especially like I'm predominantly.
You just froze up a little bit, but that's okay, because we don't mind a little freezing. We'll just wait for Dino to come unfrozen, because he's just kind of making his face that he didn't want to make right there.
That's
it was this
awesome. Now you're frozen.
Face. So I hope we keep this in, because this is kind of fun.
It is pretty fun.
I'm still moving.
I can.
Woo! But he froze. We'll just wait for him to come back, everybody. Let's smoke a bong until Dino gets back. I wonder if he can see this. This is kind of funny.
So right now, her camera isn't updating, and it actually just kicked me out of the meeting. But she's like, oh, so I was just standing on the camera going, it was pretty funny.
Hello. He's still kind of frozen. Oh, there's me. I'm alone in this conversation. Okay, everybody. We thank you very much for that podcast. Hope everybody has a great day. Ciao for now. Hope everybody... We'll get Dino back on the next one. Okay, guys. That was all from morning... Morning Rant with Dino Bilates and Crystal Morency. You can find Dino on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all those other social media outlets. And you can find me as well, Simply Me on YouTube, and Crystal Morency. All right, guys, have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye.
Turning mine back on right now.
Okay, turn it back on.
So that's gonna.
I just did a goodbye. I did a goodbye for both of us. I'm like, all right. So Dino took off there for a minute. I said, so I smoked a bong with them, and I said you can find Dino at blah 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 blah, and you can find me at Simply Me. So yeah, you could just erase my goodbye now that you're back.
Yeah, we're almost.
Only because we were at 40.
Yeah.
We were at 49 minutes. So. That's why I did it. I'm like, well, Dino's not here, so I'm like, well, let's smoke a bong.
So the whole time I'm talking to my camera going, she can't hear what's happening right now, but this is what she's doing, and I'm telling them the whole time. So ultimately,
that will be funny because I did too. So hi everybody, welcome back.
We'll do another few minutes. So you know what? Basically, I think one of the things that we've been trying to do, and I think I don't know, I think I've been liking doing this, is I've tried to have something motivational at the end of every podcast we do. And the one I was thinking about today was specifically around the idea of today. Today is a hard concept to deal with. We find that there are times throughout the day where we may want to give up, or things have gotten too hard that we lose our ability to deal with situations. And somebody had written, I forget who it was, so I apologize that I can't give credit, but they said that today is the last time you have to deal with today. Tomorrow is a whole 100%. Other adventure with its own challenges and its own victories. So one of the things that I've seen happening is that we're forgetting our past, and in actuality, the quote unquote victors who wrote history have been, being exposed for what they really are. And I think it's really important that we do our best to learn from every day, and at the same time feel encouraged that tomorrow is going to be, it's going to have a victory that we didn't know we were going to get. And absolutely, it's
another opportunity. Every day is another opportunity. Nickelback.
Yeah. And
every day is a gift, not a given right.
And that's the idea. Woo! Is that, guys, if we want to make this happen, then we have to live in the moment to a certain degree so that we can move forward. But now I guess we're kind of screwed for a couple minutes before, but we'll do a little ending right now. So Crystal, where can everyone find you?
Yeah. You can find me on YouTube at Simply Me, Facebook, Instagram, all those Twitter.
So this is going to be posted on Morning
Simply
Motivational
Me.
Rant on Instagram and on YouTube as well. You can find me at Dino the Genetic Marvel on YouTube, where I'm probably going to post this as well as Instagram, Dino the Genetic Marvel, Twitter, Dino the Genetic Marvel, and I'd give you my address, but that's kind of creepy, and my wife doesn't want me to, so we'll do that. All right. No, Crystal's not giving out her address. Okay, that's not going to happen. Okay.
It's been a long quarantine. Speak for yourself, Dino.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
All right, bye, everybody.